The lyrics then, do the lyrics, are they driven by the music or can it be the other way around as well?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. They're, it's a different, because I guess I was the one who kind of assembled everything together, but we definitely all chipped in ideas for words and themes and stuff. It was a tough thing to do because we've never been a band that has had like kind of one person having a voice and having, or like having some kind of message, I guess. Right. We all have a voice within the music, but then nobody's ever been the one, like no one has ever taken the lead to go and say, these are the things that I want to like put out there and have kind of very directly addressing the audience. It's always been more like about the music and about the kind of mood and the, so that was a challenge definitely to not make it, because I didn't want to make it personal, I didn't want to make it,
why not?
It's not too personal, because I feel like Samaris is not about that. Okay. That's not the purpose. I feel like if I have things that I want to express in very direct ways with words and stuff, like poetry, things like that, I have other ways to do that.
Still feel like that this song was more personal.
It's definitely because there's no other, because it was tough to not do it, you know. We had to be personal. So that was also the push. Like we started off with something very just general, like some bullshit, and then we had to finesse it and like make it actually worth listening and make it interesting and make it personal. Like that was a big challenge for me at least, and I think for all of us, because then we were asking ourselves like, what can we do that we all can relate to, and how can we all, you know, how can we present something that we all have in common and things like that. And that was hard.
How did you find a way to do it then?
Just by going for it. Just like by being brave and just say like, I don't know, I'm just gonna fucking say this. I'm just gonna put it in the words and just go with it. And then sometimes, you know, people wouldn't like it or they would really like it, and it would be talk about it and fix it. And but really just about being brave, I think it was the only way.
And part of this, I believe, is also because on the previous album it was in Icelandic and then based on poems or taken from poems. So in that sense, was it a tough thing to do to now figure out? Kind of?
Yeah, like we have to figure out what is the message, like what are we singing about, what are we saying, like.
Well, you mentioned the word purpose just now, that expressing your personal opinion isn't the purpose of Samaris. So what, this sounds a bit weird, but what is the purpose of the music?
I mean, the purpose of Samaris for me, I mean, it can be anything. I mean, you can ask this question and you can have like 1,000 different answers, and you can also just have no answers. The purpose is really for us to kind of come together and make something that we wouldn't have made otherwise if we weren't three of us together. So like personally, it's about like kind of expanding your like the output, like just making like, you know, making it broader musically, I guess. Also just to have fun. I think it's quite simple. Like if it was boring, we wouldn't want to do it. It wouldn't be worth it, you know.
Yeah. I don't know, what's the purpose of music? I don't know.
Well, but that's right, maybe there is no answer to that. But
it's like, it makes you feel good.
It makes you feel good. A good friend of mine once said, there was a Q&A with like little 11-year-old kids. He was on stage and he was asked this question, like, why do you want to play music? He was like, hi, my name is Flower, I'm from Sunset, I'm 11 years old. Why do you want to play music? And then he said, because sometimes it takes away the sadness. Which is so cheesy and sweet. But I think that's true. That was a very good way to put it.
In that sense, and because you say you didn't want to make it too personal, but are there certain songs lyrically maybe that are connected to your life?
Oh no, all of them. Like, like I mean, they ended up being that way. But I guess not being too like specific about one certain thing. But it would be like, yeah, absolutely. It would be like stuff happening, but to all of us, and like things that we have in mind. Like.
Is there one that sticks out for you, maybe that we can go into a little bit more?
I mean, yeah. For example, if like wanted to say the first song, on the album. It was the first song that we kind of really finished.
Yeah.
And that was the idea, was this kind of like just this irony in a way, like this, that we wanted to say something, but we actually had nothing to say. But then it was a contrast to like the first verses, which was, because it was around the time there was a lot of talk in Icelandic media about preserving nature, and we felt like suddenly that was a really important message. It still is. So definitely we had like this kind of, it was about like this kind of, the population and like overpopulation and this need for human beings to like take and take and take and take and never like, you know, really give back and like never appreciating. So, and then it went into like this kind of just like nonsense, which is like, what is the thing I wanted to say? And there's like nothing at all. So it's actually kind of...
Yeah, I think...
Yeah.
I think it's just a pretty, I don't know, good pop song, I guess. It's like a... With
a tiny little message and then just something like, you can hum along with.
Yeah. It's more about the vibe, I guess. Just more about the... I don't know.
Because in that sense, do you, maybe it's way too early because the album's just finished and not even released yet, but can you see yourself doing this again, or will you go back to maybe singing Icelandic?
This way?
It's really hard to say.
I have no idea.
Okay. No. I mean, maybe the next album we just have no words. Just be like sampling vocals and just like, you know, there's no rules and we never like to decide it until we actually have finished everything. Like with this album, we just like sat down and we said, well, what are we gonna do now? And then we were like, tried out a few different things, and we said, why not just try writing lyrics and try and see what reaction we would get? Because obviously everyone was always asking us about the lyrics, and we were like thinking, if we just go for it and just write lyrics ourselves, first of all, how is it gonna sound, and what are people gonna think? Obviously, not everyone likes it.
Yeah.
Some people prefer it. It's just totally random. So we're also just like, we don't take it too seriously.
Is there one reaction that you've had on the English
oh, many,
so
many.
Yeah, it's a lot of different people. Yeah, some people don't really like it. Some people are pretty kind of mad.
Yeah, some people are disappointed. Yeah. I mean, they really took a liking to it. But then that's always with pop music.
You have to move forward. You can't just be doing the same thing all the time, you know.
And then are these Icelandic people then that don't like it?
No, they're actually more of them are foreign people.
Yeah, it's more like just people that discovered us because they're into Iceland and Icelandic language. Okay. So they kind of, yeah.
Finally then, because well, you don't live very close to each other.
Yeah.
When it comes to getting ready for the live shows now, have you started that process already?
Yeah, we just did that now last week.
Okay.
It went okay. Just met in Berlin in my studio and practiced and tried to make a new live set and it's been going okay.
And do you notice that songs already start to evolve in a way for the live shows?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Like, we tried like one of the songs just all of a sudden I don't know, took a new direction, became more dreamy, I guess.
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Which song is this?
It's called Tangled.
Tangled, and the live version just is totally different, I guess. It's like.
It's really interesting, yeah, because we're basically using the same material
it's all the same.
As when we recorded it live, but the performance and somehow the dynamic is just super chill, and it's not like that in the recording. It was funny to see that happen. But
it's just a good thing, of course.
Okay.
Just,
I think my time's up, so thank you very much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.